Boom, what's up? It's the most incredible Eddie GTV. Every
I know
Friday we're here.
I've been following you on Instagram, Facebook ever since like the whole my brother was talking about it. He's like, man, tune in, watch your cooking show, and it's just been lit, dude.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, you definitely thank you. Thank you for all the support you've been showing, man. Means a lot, man. I love when people love the stuff I'm doing, you know?
Oh, yeah, sure, like, well, that's the thing is like a lot of people like the fellow rappers that I'm like, good friends with, like they've been on your podcast. A couple sparring buddies like Just Win's been on your podcast.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, my brother was on here the one night talking to you about some stuff. So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, your brother's definitely been a big fan of the local scene too, always supporting people too.
oh yeah, for
Um
sure. Like it's even now I'll see like the other day I just seen Frankie. He was out like doing a photo shoot in front of our tattoo shop for the people
oh
out
yeah.
back. And my boss was like, "Hey man, get him to come on in. Like if he wants to do a photo shoot while I'm tattooing somebody, bring him in. He's local. We don't care."
Awesome, awesome. We definitely got to support local. Um, Knowing you know all these different guys, I want to know. I just want to get on some rap shit to start off with. I want to know your top five rappers that you have met.
My top five rappers that I've met: Richie Duolo from Brantford, Just Win, Frankie, nephew Troy McKinnon. He's out there just killing it, just releasing tracks this week. He's been going like crazy with the YouTube and Facebook and everything. He just shot his first music video about a month ago called Pink Skies. I just
Yeah.
been for a week straight, man. That's all I mess him every day. Yo, bro, I'm listening to your new song. Like it's stuck in my head. Thanks, bro.
Okay, so that was four.
And then I'd say the local, like I've a lot of the guys now, like with the rap scene, I don't even know, but like my one buddy Rob Kirkman on Rain, they're a local country rock band out of like Hamilton and Brantford.
So what I'm saying as far as rappers, like
Oh,
you don't have
rap!
to like
Like I would have to say honestly, like I've been waiting for some new Dolo and Frankie and like all those guys from like Bell City days. Like even Win, I keep bugging them. I'm like, yo, bring it back. Don't even care. Just bring it.
nice. Nice. I was trying to see if you're gonna put I put out some raps. I was gonna see if I was in top five, but I guess I need to put out some more raps to get in that top five, right?
Honestly, bro, like I would love to hear some of your raps. It's just been like I even said to my mom, like my mom asked me how you were doing the other day because we talked on the phone. My
Yeah.
mom's like, man, out of all your like grade school friends, the only people you really talk to is AG and like a couple of my buddies. That's it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't really talk to too many people from but it's all love with a lot of them. But it's just like we all have our own lives, right? Like
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Like in the last couple months too, like with the whole MMA scene and boxing coming up now, like I've had a couple of my like schoolyard bullies, man, come up to me and apologize. I'm like, dude, we were kids, I'm worried about it, right?
yeah, yeah,
But
for
it's kind
sure.
of different now, like that you see a lot of local rappers and like athletes and stuff all sticking together, like like going to the events together, going to see shows at Envy, whatever, right?
So yeah, a lot of people on here just know me from when I started like this show. But if you were to describe Eddie G in like grade school, how would you describe him?
I'd say, honestly, dude, ill-mannered, calm, a little bit shy at first until he opens. You get into that bubble, and
Yeah,
then sometimes like we would honestly get shit for the stupidest things. We'd be talking in class, or you know what I mean, like listening to old school hip hop joints in class. Teacher come in, turn it down. No, we're turning it up. Sorry, like you know what I mean.
yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah, I want to get into so you went this MMA path, you started doing the kickboxing and how'd you get into that?
Okay, so when I was like 14, 15, I was going down like bad road, right? So then one night, like honestly, dude, I was just walking, suspended from school for getting bullied. Just push the kid. So of course I get a suspending
Right.
somebody. kid. But
Right.
honestly, I walked by Vegas at the time. My coach was out there having some drinks. And it was just like he had to defend himself. I'm like, dude, what the fuck was that, right? Well, then him being a big guy was like, hey, you, come here. And I'm like, I'm fucking dead. Like, this guy's going to beat my ass. What did I didn't see nothing, man. And he's like, dude, it's 2:30. What are you doing walking the street? I'm like, I got suspended. Told him the whole story. He was in his wallet, business card. He's like, yo, come to my dojo. Come check out some karate. It's a good thing for you, right? So then I started doing like Ojuru karate. And then my coach is like, well, I have a kickboxing class you could be interested in. So I just started doing the boxing. And then a local athlete that was like off the map, which he should be put on the map because he brought it into Ontario. Adam High was in my class one time. And he's like, bro,
Shout out to him. Hi, I need to get him on here.
try pancreation class. You'll love it. You can't get disqualified for contact. You can work submissions. You can work strikes. We'll teach you some jiu-jitsu in your throw. And lo and behold, I just did. I was like, okay, like I'm not going to get in trouble for going to a tournament, hitting somebody a little bit too hard, qualified or whatever, right? And then like it was kind of cool because like Chris started to come to class and like, man, like he got the nickname Psycho for a reason. Like he'd spot big guys and laugh at us because we weren't hitting him hard enough. Like he fought my coach one time because Chris was being mouthy. He's like, hey, F you, blah, blah, blah. You can't tell me what to do. My coach was like, Sam, you're going to spar him. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, give him an attitude adjustment, right? And even my coach, like, hit him hard. And my brother just looks at me and laughs, goes, is that the best you got? Come on, man, hit me. My coach is like, yep, psycho sticks. Like, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
it's been good. Like, I love it because, like, you know, martial arts gives
Hold on. I want to say one thing before we get too far into it. Adam High. I remember, man. I remember seeing him like roundhouse kick a guy when we were in I think he might be a grade ahead of me, but like I think I was like 7, he was like in an 8, and this guy was just starting to like the guy was just egging him on the whole time. He was just telling him, hey man, relax, don't, and then he just pushed Adam to the point where Adam just pushed him away, and then he like roundhouse kicked him and took him down with a one kick. I was like, oh shit! Like this shit was like straight out of a movie. Like I was like the way he just jumped up and was like just like boom. I was like, holy shit, man, that shit was dope. That was like yeah, it was like grade 7 or 8.
Yeah, well,
But
even at PJ, like me and him were like, we went to grade school at King George together, which
yeah,
is kind of cool. Then we went to PJ for grade 9, 10, 11 together. Well, then, like, even remember, like, in grade 10, a bunch of Assumption guys showed up to fight one of his friends, and Adam's like, all right, like, I got your back. Don't worry about it, right? Well, I think it was Jeff Graycraft. Like, 3 guys jumped on Jeff, and Adam's like, dude, 3-on-1's unfair.
holy fuck, I haven't heard that name in forever.
Just broke up the fight, and then the guy's like, oh, I'll fight you. And Adam's like, listen, man, you don't really want to do this? Trust me, you don't. Guy just kept going, pushed Adam to the point, and Adam just hit him once and put the guy on the ground and was like, listen, man, I'm sorry, but I didn't really want to do this. You need to stop.
Yeah, Adam's a good guy. I like to get him on here.
It would be good. Like that guy has got like he's gotten so like when I first got into pancreation, I didn't even know he trained because we'd be in school together. He's just like, hey man, that was it. Never knew anything. The year I actually joined up, Adam and Mikey Homewood got invited down to San Diego to the Junior Pan Am Games to represent Team Canada, and they both come home with double gold medals. So I'm like,
That's fire.
I like this. I like that you have the experience, right? So like me and Adam all the time, like he was in class early, we'd roll around, or it was kind of good sparring him, right? Because he's naturally left-handed and I'm right-handed. So like
Right.
I would like when we spar each other, I'd flip to be the same side. And he's like, "What are you doing?" Like, go. I'm like, "No, you need to practice against somebody left-handed. I want to be left-handed, right?"
Right, yeah. No, it's definitely yeah, you definitely got to practice like different ways because yeah, if you're always like focusing on like always having the same sparring partners, not switching things up, it's like you're not really learning anything new, right?
Yeah, that's the thing is too, right? Is like that's what I mean. Like me being an orthodox fighter, it was awesome to kind of learn like the left-handed stuff from Adam because then like if I was in a match and I accidentally got switched sides because I didn't land a kick or I was in the wrong stance, I felt comfortable. Like okay, well like now I'm switching to the left side. Like I have to use my left cross instead of my right cross, and like all the learning stuff that came with it. It was awesome because like not a lot of friends, like even my one friend, he was like, "Oh, fighting left-handed is easy. And I'm like, okay, you're right-handed. Let's try. Even him hitting pads the first time, he's like, dude, what the hell? And I'm like, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of training.
Right. Right. Like I have me personally, I've mastered the art of like jerking off with my left hand now. Like I'm right-handed, but I can jerk off with my right hand pretty good.
Well, it's like me. Like I play ice hockey with Chris. I can shoot a slap shot right-handed, and then Chris was like, try it with your left hand. So I just started shooting a puck with the left hand. I'm like, this is kind of different, and I can shoot it harder than with my right.
That's awesome right there. That takes it just takes time to kind of like practice and like learn how to use it differently, right?
Yeah, exactly. And that's like now that I'm more into the coaching aspect of like martial arts and karate and like kickboxing, because I started my own kickboxing business.
Awesome. What is it?
It's Tns Kickboxing Academy.
Awesome. Make sure everybody checks that out.
Yeah, like we just have a Facebook page. I've had actually numerous friends of mine from high school were like all the time I've been training. Why don't you open your own thing? Like I want to bring my kids and bring me like train me, right? It was kind of cool. Like I like giving back to the aspect like yourself, good couple friends of mine like that will come train with me like a couple times a week or like once a month. Like my one friend's like on board. Can I hold pad? Like can you hold pads for me? I'm like yeah, whatever. We'll do the 20-minute, 30-minute workout and just even me just passing the knowledge that I have with the experience. It's kind of cool, right? Because like my one friend, he was against the whole kickboxing and MMA thing. I brought him to a live show, and I'm like, dude, just come watch. I'm going as a spectator. I will not fight, I promise. Well, then the promoter's like, Sammy, come on, like, get in the ring. And I'm like, I can't. My buddy's here, and he's not comfortable, right? So then what ended up happening was the promoter goes over, talks to my buddy, and goes, hey, listen, Sammy needs water by. Like, hold his water bottle. Like, all you have to do is squirt in between rounds. And my buddy was live watching me fight. He goes, dude. I'm like, what? He goes, what? Like, it seems like you're outside the ring. You're all calm, whatever. He goes, as soon as the bell rang, it was a totally different atmosphere.
For sure.
I'm watching you like jump up in the air, knee and elbow somebody, or like your leg kicking the crap out of somebody. And he's like, it was kind of different. And then after I come up, I'm like, hey, give him a hug. Hey, bro, thanks for coming. He goes, yeah, man. Like,
yeah,
cool, right? And now it's funny, like, we've went to like a few local events, like when Cage Dragon has their events, we'll go out and support them guys. Kitchener, Cambridge, like just local shows, right? We'll go out, pay the $20, go watch the boxing at Morale Ave with Black Eye or Bell City. Like they'll put on an event, they'll fight me. I'm like, yeah, man, no, whatever. I'll pay the cover charge. I'll go watch some fights, see what happens, right?
Yeah, Black Eye. I've had Jackie Armour on here.
He's a coach.
Yeah, I like him a lot. We had Carl Hess on here.
Carl's
pretty dope. What's that?
Why? Like, there's been times where like I was down at Black Eye working my boxing a few times.
Yeah.
Come over, hey, hit the bag properly. Like, go. Stop, go. And then he's like, come on, man. Like, I know you can hit harder than that. I've seen you. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I'm only going half-ass, bro. No, 50, go 70 or don't go at all.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely it's definitely great to push each other and stuff like that. Did you see the Tyson versus or Jones Jr.?
Yeah, like honestly, I'm a huge fan of boxing. I love both those guys.
Me too.
Growing up.
Me too.
But, like, when I watched that fight, I was like, okay, these guys are 50, almost 6 years old. They're going in there fighting 2-minute rounds, which is fine for the older guys.
Yeah.
Dude, they weren't pulling punches. They weren't doing nothing. Like Tyson was blasting them, dude. Blasting them in the body.
Yeah.
After the fight, he's like, man, like if we're gonna do this again, give me a little bit to condition my body. Like body shots will take a number. I've been dropped by Win. Like Win dropped me when he was training for Jamaica, bro, with a left hook to the lip. Like I was sparring with him. He didn't mean to. He's like, I want to work my inside. I'm like, hey, dude, let's just spar, have some fun, right? He caught me with a body shot, dude, to the chest. And even 3 days after, I went to get my hair cut from him when he was barbering here in Brantford.
Yeah.
I rolled up my shirt and had a black and bruised glove mark, dude, of where he hit me. And I had to fight 2 weeks later with bruised ribs because I win.
Wow. Yeah, shout out to Win. Shout out to Win. Get him back on the show. But yeah, like watching Tyson, I was like, oh man, like this guy, like still, after all this time, still a fucking beast.
Oh yeah.
Still a
It was
beast.
the same with Roy Jones Jr., man. He kept hitting with a no-look jab like he was a 20-year-old kid.
Right, right. It almost looked like Roy was holding on to him a little bit more than I wanted to see.
Same here. Like honestly, like I hope they do it again for the charity because they raised a good chunk of money for like the children's
Yeah,
charity they're fighting for. But honestly, I would like to see them fight different people like in the promotion, like Roy Jones Jr. fight like say like Oscar De La Hoya for charity or Tyson
mm,
Holyfield for charity. You know what I mean? Just put on a show for the fans.
yeah,
We'll have some fun, right?
for sure. Shout out to Josh Fisher just joined. He's
Josh,
on
how are
next.
you?
He's on next at 7:30. You know.
Looking forward to it, bro. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, yeah. So so what do you say is like your best moment like in MMA fighting
Honestly, like training with Adam was kind of cool, and then like when they wanted me to start doing tournaments, at first I was like, it might be like karate tournament to hit anybody, right? Well, actually, like Adam being part of my team, Brett Biederman, like local Paris boy, was on our team, and man, they both hit like trucks. So sparring against them, not fun at all. Well, then Adam invited me out to the tournament just to watch. He's like, "Come watch me." I'm like, "Okay." Well, I went, and we're only 17. Adam enters an all adult tournament, all adults, like no kids. Adam's 17. He's fighting like guys that are 35, 6.
I can
And
see it. I can see it. Yeah, Adam's a beast.
dude, he won the whole flipping tournament by 5 knockouts, and it wasn't even with his hands. He leg kicked the crap out of this kid so bad his coach had to retire him because he couldn't walk.
Ooh.
And then
That's
because I'm part of Adam's team, I got to coach him. He got stuck in a triangle. He literally picks this guy up like a paperweight, bro, slams him, moves to side control, and just starts unleashing punches. Like, dude, get out of there. Dude, get out of there. Like, the referee comes up, they stand Adam up, and of course, the guy goes to clinch Adam, thinking, oh, Adam's got no jiu-jitsu. Like, you know what I mean? I'll just clinch. Adam just holds the guy, starts landing body shots, and literally the guy, like, fourth body shot, you see him tap, and I'm like, what happened? I thought Adam, like, choked him with his gi or something. And he goes to the referee, he's like, man, I have to, like, I'm done. I can't take any more body shots.
Yo.
And then the best learning experience was, I didn't even know who was at the tournament. Well, at the time, Adam's like, oh, I wonder if you should do a friend of mine. I come down here and I train with him, like, once in a while. I'm like, okay, like, who is this guy, right? And I see this colored guy come over. He's like, oh, thanks for coming to the club. I'm like, yeah, man, go to turn around. And Adam grabs me. He's like, do you know who this is, right? I was like, no. He goes, dude, it's Carlos Newton. He just won the UFC title, like, 3 weeks prior off Matt Hughes. I was like, what? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, okay. Then I asked Carlos, I'm like, when do you fight next? He's like, okay, I gotta defend my title against Matt Hughes because I just beat coach Pat Militovich, right? I was like, okay. He's like, I told Adam, I tell you guys, you guys are local. Here's my fighting team shirt. Come on down. You want to train? You want to come roll? Whatever.
Yeah, yeah. So
But yeah, no, my best experience, dude, was like I won the Canadian provincials. I'm like, okay, what's this that happened next? Adam's like, oh, we go to the nationals. You represent Team Canada. I'm like, all right. So go to this national tournament. I'm like, okay, whatever. And there's like 32 countries. These guys like train 7 days a week. Adam, I'm like, what do they get involved in, right? He's like, dude, go out there, do your thing. As soon as the bell rings, go out there, have fun. So I ended up winning Canadian nationals. And then right after, because it was still in the early years of paying development, me, Adam, my brother Chris, and 2 other guys on our team all qualified to go on Team Canada to actually Athens, Greece, the home of pancration, and fight for Team Canada.
that's amazing. That's there,
So,
there. It's fucking
oh,
super.
wow. And then, like, the same year, Adam's like, well, go back to a karate tournament. Like, just see what happens, right? I was like, okay, like, whatever. So same thing. I went to nationals. I qualified for Team Canada, and I'm like, all right, like it's gonna be like pancration just gonna end. My coach is like, no, like we're doing a world championship. Toronto this year. You're on Team Canada. You're in your own division. Have fun. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So then I get to the tournament. I do my katas. I do my self-defense with my coach. I'm like, all right. I'm like, okay, now it's up to you. Like, you're a part of Team Canada. You're qualified for sparring. Go ahead. I'm like, all right. So then I'm thinking World Championships. Like, what's going to happen, right? If I lose, I'll be top 5 in the world. Like, cool. I did my part. I'm top 5. I'm good, right? Just an accomplishment. Well, I go through my division, get to the top 3 guys, and I'm thinking, these guys are from, like, Russia, France, Germany. They all train 7 days a week with their parents.
Yeah.
I go to fight the guy from Germany. He backs out. Gets on the mount, bows out. And he's like, I don't want to fight this kid because you're allowed semi-contact at the Worlds. You can actually hit somebody and not have to work. It's qualified. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So then all same thing. Like, my 2 other opponents bow out. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to win the World on a fluke. Give me somebody. I don't care who it is. Adult, whatever. So then my coach is like, well, listen, they got a couple adult guys that have nobody they can fight. Want to? I'm like, yeah. Give me a step up in competition. I'll fight some adults. Same belt color, same weight class. Whatever. All right. So going to the adult division, my coach is like, oh, for adults, you're allowed to throw people and strike. You just have to, key eye or breathe. Step off and wait till you count your point. I'm like, all right, whatever. First guy comes up, of course, he's, whatever. And I'm just moving around. I'm like, all right. Well, he goes to clinch with me to do body shots. So I hip toss him. I land on him, and I just strike. I'm like, hi. Right? Step back, and the referee's like, yame, which means stop in Japanese. I'm like, okay. All 3 of the judges were like, you got a 3-point throw because the guy's feet come past your head, plus the follow-up strike. You're already up 4-0. I'm like, okay. I need 5 to win. What do I have to do? Just touch this guy once and I'm good? Well, the guy's getting mad because I'm already up 4-0. He comes running in, and I'm like, okay, whatever. He's trying to hit me. I'm like, just moving out of the way, frustrating him. Well, then he just leans in to go strike me, and I just kind of like kick him. Just touched him with my foot on the back of his head as the same time as he hit me. So I told him, I was like, dude, you deserve it. You struck me first. Well, 5 of the judges see my kick and they didn't see his punch. So I'm like, all right. So the judge is like, we're like, yeah, mate, whatever, it's over. They tally up my scores. I'm like, all right, like I thought it was to 5. And the judge is like, no. This goes to 10 because it's international rules. I'm like, my match lasted 1 minute and 35 seconds. It should be longer. It's a 3-minute round. He's like, no, you won submission by. What do you mean submission by points? He goes, dude, nothing. You're the world champion of your division. I was like, I literally cried. I was like, what? I did what? He's like, my coach comes up, gives me a big hug. He's like, you just won the world championship. I was like, and I'm like crying. I still got the trophy here. I was like, seriously, I'm only 17. Like, I can't be world champion yet. Like, I got a lot of years to go. He goes, no, you just won. He's like, here's your trophy. Come meet the 2 masters that are presenting it, which was nice because Concho and Toki were that had the tournament on. They're like masters from Japan. And even Concho, after I got my trophy, comes over, gives me a big hug. Samuel, I'm like, yeah. He goes, good job. Team Canada #1. I was like, Concho, I'm only 17. He goes, oh, age, nothing. Don't worry. I was like, cool, okay. But yeah, now like my nephew, he got Instagram and he's been a personal trainer now for a couple of years. So like he's Uncle Sam, when you become coach, I'll come learn from you and Chris and Adam and the guys from like local people, right?
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, dude, if you want a manager, yeah, no problem. Got a fight. I'll do your stuff, right? And I'm like, dude, you make it to the UFC, you make it to the UFC. You don't want to go to the UFC, you just want to do a couple of fights, do a couple pro fights. It's up to you, right?
Yeah. Yeah, like that right there is a definitely fucking an incredible thing, man. Like, yeah, it's the most incredible, baby.
Exactly. And like even now, like my one friends are like, oh, what's your accomplishment in martial arts? I'm like, well, I got this belt and this belt, but like colors of my belt don't matter. And my buddy's like, okay, what's your accomplishments? And I'm like, okay. So I show my rewards, like my medals and stuff, my trophies. And it's funny because this trophy right here.
Okay.
Is the provincial trophy I won.
Yeah, okay. That's dope.
So then the following year, oops, keep dropping stuff. The following year, when I got invited to the Worlds, they gave me this nice little World Championship trophy.
Fire.
So it just collects dust now. Like, and even my one friend, he's like, "What's your accomplishments?" And he'll see all my certifications up on the wall for coaching stuff, right?
You don't have a drink of champagne out of that cup every once in a while?
No, honestly, like it just sits. It's a decoration now. Like, I'm just like, okay,
Right.
like it's like my nephew. I'll send him pictures of my trophies and my medals because in his grade 12 project, he had to actually pick somebody famous for like to do a write up on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you got like local hockey athletes out of Simcoe. You got hockey athletes. You got pro boxers out of Brantford. Pick anybody. If you pick like Carl Hess, I can message him like, hey, my nephew wants to do an interview with you. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't care. Like, oh, yeah, buddy, no
Yeah.
problem. Same with Win, right? And it's like he called me on video chat in the front of his school and did a whole live interview, asked me a bunch of questions, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, well, his teacher warned me before even the interview. Like, his teacher called me and he was like, listen, we got to mark him like on the presentation live. I'm like, whatever, go ahead. So, yeah. And then the teacher's like, well, if you're not busy in a couple weeks, why don't you come to the school? We'll mic you up and we can do a class in the gym. And I'm like, all right, I guess, like, whatever. So it being my hometown, like high school, right, that I went to, they shut the whole school down. Nobody had to go to classes. People donated like non-perishable food items, $5. It was basically like a 3.5 hour seminar of just like people hitting pads, people doing throws, different jiu-jitsu stuff. I had guys on the football team wanting to run cardio with me in full equipment. So I'm like, yeah, let's go run the track. So then the kind of cool experience was like they had a hometown football game against Waterford that night. And Mr. Loveland, like I loved him as my football coach. He actually asked me, he's like, listen, they're going to do the coin toss. We want you to come out, do the coin toss with one of our jerseys on. And I'm like, do you guys even have my jersey number? He's like, what's your jersey number? So I'm like, 21. He goes, all right, hold on. Goes into school, gets me a brand new, like, Reebok made school jersey, puts it on. He's like, this jersey, after you're done, you can keep it. We don't want it.
Wow.
Pictures with you in the air, like, pictures with you, like, with a glove on or whatever, or, whatever.
Yeah.
So then the radio station catches wind of this. They come down to do an interview, like, in the school with me, whatever. They sat me down. It was like, I think it was about 4 weeks into my one training camp for a fight. So they had me there and they're like, well, we'll bring you snacks. I'm like, I can't really have snacks, like healthy food. That's all I can have. And so the one guy was really understanding. He's like, dude, I'll bring you some almonds. I'll bring you some Gatorade. I'll bring whatever you need. I just want to interview you for the paper. So then they did a huge write-up in the Simcoe Reformer for me. And then the event was actually in Simcoe. So the high school people that were the coaches of my football team all bought tickets to come watch me fight. So then I said to my football coach, I'm like, I want you to walk me out to the ring. Like, you're a hometown guy. You've been coaching the same high school team for 36 years. I want you to come walk out with me. And he's like, no, I can't do that. I don't want to take your, like, you're coming. Let's go. We're walking. And he's like, no. I'm like, yes, you're coming. Like, come on, it'd be cool,
Yeah.
right? So then, like, he's like, well, what do I wear? I'm like, wear your waiter's hat, wear my jersey if you want. I don't care. Like, let's make it cool, right? But now it's more like I love teaching people. Like, I like teaching my nephews. I like teaching my friends. I like teaching even my little brother. Like, he'll come up once in a while, like when he's able to. And like he's bugged me for years. Like, I want to get back into it. I want to hit some pads. I'm like, I can coach you. Like, let's hit some pads. I got the belly pad. I got the thigh pads. I got gloves.
Yeah.
And a lot of my friends, even when I first started, because of the pandemic, I was going to open my own dojo, but I couldn't because of COVID sucked everything out.
Right.
So what ended up happening was I started an online group. It's all private, so I can add you to it after we're done here. Anybody that feels free, message me on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. But what I've been doing is I was doing online classes, so I teach people the basics. And the girlfriend at the time, like, she was training with me, like, dude. She used to do amateur powerlifting, and she could throw body shot with protection on and move me 3 feet. Like, girl's a beast, man. Girl's a beast. So like I started coaching her and then teaching her some self-defense stuff. And then we did it online. Like we did basics. We did a couple self-defense drills for kids. And then it was funny because a lot of the friends that she added, I didn't add to my group. I just added people on my Facebook. She started adding people, and then I was getting messaging like, "Hey, I went to school with you and your brother. Is it cool? Like, do you teach people?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can teach you and your kids if you want to come." And my one buddy, like, he's been very supportive. Jason, he owns Premier. He does taxes, business stuff. He was the actual one that gave me the idea. It's like, Sammy, you've been doing this like private lesson thing for a little while. Why don't you go get your business license? And I'm like, seriously? He goes, dude, you're good at it. You have the talent. Why not go do it? So I went right after have my taxes done by him. Went down to City Hall, got my license. I already have my Puchoy Crew status out of Toronto. So I was like, okay, I'm assistant coach for Muay Thai, but I'll just stick to my American style and like my karate stuff, right?
Yeah.
So then I started getting back into karate with Renchi Trevor out of Hamilton. He owns Team Elite Martial Arts. So I've been working on getting towards my brown belt now, which is kind of cool. It's a lot of more learning and stuff.
Yeah.
First, I was like, I don't want to go back into karate. Like, I just want to, kickbox or do my submissions on the ground or my MMA stuff and be fine with it, right? But then I was like, well, I'm getting up there. Like, I'm not going to be able to do MMA till I'm 60, like Randy Couture.
Right. Right. Yeah. So, one thing I want to know, what are your top five local rappers? I want to hear your top five MMA fighters.
MMA fighters, dude, my top five, honestly, of all time favorite, GSP, he's at the top, man. He put Montreal on the map.
GSP. GSP.
But I have to definitely give a shout out to Mark the Machine Hominick. That kid was a beast at 145.
Okay.
Sam Stout.
All
Those
right.
battles with Spencer Fisherman were off the hook. I couldn't even, I was out of my chair screaming at my TV.
That's one.
Another local MMA guy would have to be Ryan Dixon. He's out of Hamilton. He's in the XFL tournament. He's just in the semifinals. Good luck, bro. Smash it. Bring Canada back. Bring the belt back to Canada, man. Because all the other guys that are in the brackets are all in the United States.
Okay. Okay.
And I'd have to say another fifth guy, man. He's a local boy. Nobody's heard of him yet. He's up there. Like, he's been in some top-notch fights, and nobody gives him recognition. It's Craig the War Dog Hudson from Paris, man. That guy is a fucking tank.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. Yeah, I want to get into tattooing.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, in the last couple of years, because I had an injury at work, so it kind of set me back. But I
Yeah.
was doing an apprenticeship here in Brantford, and then, like, another friend of mine reached out. He's like, are you still apprenticing? And I'm like, I miss the shop. I would love to. So he kind of brought me on as apprentice, so I was, like, learning all the tricks and the trades of tattooing and stuff like that. And then I kind of took a mental break because, like, with COVID going on,
Yeah. Yeah.
it kind of hit home really good with me and Chris. Like, my grandpa was in the old age home in Hagersville when the outbreak happened.
Oh yeah. For sure.
And first couple weeks he went through, he was fine. And then a couple weeks after that, like, it started going around even worse. So we're like worrying because he's 96, right?
Yeah.
And the one Saturday morning, like Friday night, I get up like 7:00 in the morning. Saturday morning, I'm like, all right, I'm going to the shop. Like, cool. My buddy's like, come hang out. Well, me and Chris's mom reached out, called me. They gave me the bad news that my grandpa ended up passing away from the virus.
Sorry to hear that.
Like, even growing up with him, it wasn't even like he was my grandpa. He was like my best friend. We'd go fishing, whatever. And then, like, anytime I see him, oh, what new tattoo do you got now? Like, let me see. What is it? Like, what is this kind of style, right?
Yeah.
It's like way before tattoos, like early 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, right? So then, like, the one time I was down there, he goes, do tattoos hurt? So I just took some washable marker and just did, like, a little flower on him, like, just messing around. I'm like, told nurse, I'm like, don't worry, it washes off. And he just wanted to see what a tattoo would look on him. So he's just kind of looking. He's like, oh, that's not so bad. I'm like, look, Grandpa, and I just kind of take a washcloth. I'm like, look, it wipes off. Like, no problem, whatever, right? But yeah, no, then the guy I'm at the shop now, like Andy Kearns, original Sin on Skin, like, if you guys haven't heard of him, go check him out, man. Like, he did a beautiful portrait. It's on my Instagram. Did a portrait for my grandpa on the back of my shoulder. He's done a couple cuts on my arm. He actually just did this.
He's more vocal, that is.
Okay.
A couple days ago for a Christmas present. He's like, hey, man, it'll suit you. And I'm like, yeah, I was going to go back to the gym and start training. Now I got to wait for this to heal up and just work my right hand. What's this? But yeah, like, we've had a lot of people, like, come to the shop. Like, even Frankie, when he was by the other day, I'm like, dude, come in. Like, even today, he's like, tell Eddie G, come in. I want to do a podcast with him. We'll do a small tattoo. We'll get him on a podcast while he's getting tattooed. I was like, but okay, whatever, right? But yeah, man, I like the tattooing industry's changed a lot, right? Since we were younger, like, they'd use the old school machines. Now, like, they've got pens with little cartridges that are this big, and you can just pop them out, put your new one in, whatever, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's been a journey. Like, I love it. Like, it's something I'd never trade. I can learn. Like, once I'm like even said to him, like, my boss, he's cool. He's like, hey, you fight local? Let me know. Well, it's after shop time. I'll come watch you on a weekend fight, or, you know, if we have to close down the shop for a couple hours, like, say if my fight's at 6, and we're usually open until like from 11 to 7. Weekends it varies. Like, tomorrow we're open at like 12 until 7. But he's always in there. Like, we've had people come in for like random tattoos, beautiful tributes to like family members and stuff, and some of the black and gray stuff, like even the nature stuff I've seen him do. I'm like, it looks like he just took the picture of that animal and stuck it on somebody's skin. Like, that's kind of badass.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think about those 3D tattoos?
Honestly, I'm on the fence about it, because what people don't read into the 3D tattoos, it's actually like not really good for your skin, because it's scar tissue. They'll go in under the layer of skin, and what's making the 3D effect is they'll put like a needle in sideways and like underneath your layers of skin to make your skin pop up. So what eventually is doing, if you're going to go, say, a ridge, like, cover it up, or you want to add something around it, it's going to scar tissue that area. So nobody's going to want to be like tattooing over a scar, right?
Right.
But like, even